So a big one from what you said there is, which stands out to me, makes a lot of sense, is there's this illusion that, or not necessarily illusion, but this belief that if I run my own business, there's a sense of pride in that. But you made a comment to say a lot of sacrifice. What do you mean by sacrifice?
Well, to be honest, a lot of the time you're not going to be able to pick and choose what days you want to work and what times suit you, and when it's a good time to take a phone call and when it's a good time to visit to a job that has to get done in order to get a final progress payment. Because at the end of the day, being the owner or the business operator or the director, it means that you are the person that is at the end of the road. So the payment, if it needs, something to be completed to get that final progress payment, it's up to you to either delegate or go out of your way to make sure that happens so that your client's happy and you've delivered on what you promised. If you have a meeting that you have to get to in order to attend to a job and they only are available on a Saturday at 9:30 a.m. and it's an hour and a half away, if you don't go to that meeting, you potentially don't have work. You won't be paid on Monday, you won't have a job start, you won't know what materials you need, you haven't measured the site. What are you going to do? You have to go to that meeting. Then that's, I'm sorry, can't make it that day, whatever it is the case may be. I think there's a little bit, not glorification, but there's a little bit of a false sense of reward around how easy or difficult it may be to run a business, and that there's a bad stigma around working for someone. I think there's just working for the wrong person is the issue. Because I like to think that my team, so we have a team of 6, including myself, we have a leading hand, a 4th year, a tradesman, a 3rd year and a 2nd year. So we have quite a decent sized team. And I like to think that they all go to work very happy every day and they go home very happy every day. I'm very transparent, I'm very fair, and we try to make it a place where people want to come to work. They pay on time, they get incentivized to work well, they get paid for their travel time. I buy the trucks and provide the fuel and all this sort of thing. Like it's a very fair relationship because I'm expecting your time, but you need to be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
And if you have an issue, I always say, if you have an issue, come to me, we can discuss it. And I'd rather we talk it through, we come to a solution. If you need something, let's talk about it. It's a bit of an open door sort of policy, and I feel like nowadays there's a lot of companies that are just do it my way, or else no, it's not happening at all. And it's like, it's okay to say, I want to go somewhere else, I think I want to learn a different way, or I want to learn a new thing. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're an apprentice, because I think that's your critical time to be in the best environment, under the best people to learn. Because the harsh truth is that I think they should be telling people in TAFE or in on-site training, whatever you may do, is that after that 4 years, a lot of guys sadly don't expect to pay you to learn. They expect to pay you to do a job to a really high standard with little to no support. That's the expectation, and a lot of guys sort of finish that 4th year and they don't really know what's going on, and it frazzles, it's scary and it's intimidating. And I think that there's a lack of preparation for people. So for instance, when our guys go into their 4th year, they've still got their time on site to do, I speak with them and I say, look, this year is more about your growth as a person to transition into being in charge of a job, into having some responsibility and maybe training that 2nd year in a couple of different tasks. I'm not saying I'm off to Hawaii for 6 months, good luck. I'm just saying that I think this year is less about me spoon feeding you and more about me letting you show me what your capability is. Are you, wanting to run jobs, or are you wanting to be a team member? Do you want to train staff, or do you just want to go to work every day? And then I can facilitate your skill set to what the business needs, and we can be upfront and transparent. Whereas a lot of people, they get treated the same from 1st to 4th. They're just a helper, and they're a set of hands, and do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. For the whole 4 years, it's never, what do you think we should do? How would you fix this problem? Or what's the next step? There's no training. It's just work for money, work for money, work for money, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So it puts them in a bit of a tough spot, and I don't necessarily have a solution. I don't have here it is here, but at the end of the day, I think it's something that needs to be talked about in order to bring awareness to the fact that apprentices that are out there in a situation where maybe they don't know is this what the trade is? They can start to think amongst themselves or talk amongst others and say, I think I can probably learn more somewhere else. I'm a little bit overdoing the same thing every day for the past 18 months. There is no better time than in that apprenticeship to look for a change. I had 5 different employers in my apprenticeship and it was over 3 years. You know what I mean? That was a lot of changes, but I learned so much. I had to adapt so quickly. I had to become a useful asset in 5 different teams in a very short period of time and develop those relationships. And at the end of the day, it opened my eyes to many different things in the industry. I had a renovations boss who was a fully licensed builder and we did everything from start through to finish. And then I had a cladding and eaves boss, we only did facades. Then I had a frames boss, we only did frames. And then I had a boss that did clad, facade and fix out. We only did that. Point was, I got exposed to a lot in that early period of my trade where I never felt out of my depth when I turned up to a job when I was out on my own. I thought, what's going on here? I was like, I know what's going on here. I've been here before. This is what's happening. This is the process. And I'm comfortable. And at the end of the day, 4 years is a long time, but there's a lot to learn.